Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to this review of Nevernight by Kristoff. Relatively new book, just came out this August, just gone. And I received this copy for free from a Goodreads giveaway. As far as I know, my name just got plucked out of this digital hat. But I'm glad that it did, because this is a great new book to read. So before you all rush out and buy it, what's it about? Well, this young girl, Maya, she witnesses the death, the execution of her father, the imprisonment of her mother and her brother, and she gets a bit angry at this. She wants revenge, so which sort of follows her life on the streets, and as she goes up to join this assassin's guild to become an assassin to get revenge on the people who sort of ruined her life and ruined her family. So, as I say, it's a good book. Lots of action, lots of suspense. There's lots of subplots that go along the story and sort of yank you, and you occasionally think you're one step ahead of the story. You know what's coming, and then it sort of has this twist. So it's a bit of up and down, but that's good. You're not just getting a straightforward narrative. You're getting conflict throughout, and lots of these little plot twists that come about. The characters are fantastic. As I say, it follows this young girl, and she's also human, which is good. She's not just sort of a, one of these good girls that are, good at everything, or characters that are good at everything. She's good at magic. She can manipulate shadows, but she's also flawed in that, her combat's not really up to scratch. So she's working on that throughout the book. She gets upset, she has her own fears, she's a bit arrogant, a bit sassy, a bit willing to show off, which sometimes works in her favour, but sometimes it sort of adds to her problems. So, she's human, as I said. And most of the characters are human. They sort of have these motivations, these backstories that as you delve into later on the book, you sort of understand their own characters. So, they're not just driven by what the author dictates. They have their own life outside the book, which sort of explains their actions and their own personalities. So I enjoyed that. The prose is a bit purple. If you don't like poetic, flowery language full of metaphors, this one's probably not going to be one that you'll read easily without cringing. I didn't mind it. I don't mind it. Didn't find it too distracting, and it read alright. It wasn't too posy, but some people aren't into that. Now, as I'm going to say, oh yes, the structure. It's got sort of an interesting structure. The first third of the book sort of goes flashbacks and then present narrative in sort of this regular rhythm. And you sort of learn more about the main character through these flashbacks and understand the motivations in the present. And each of these flashbacks sort of run parallel to the present narrative, which is good. So you're constantly learning about this character and her life through flashbacks. And it also has footnotes for the backstory, full of useful exposition. At one point in the text it goes on about this offensive hand gesture. I think it's something like this. Maybe this, I'm not too sure. Apologies to any eunuchs watching. But it gives a backstory on how the hand gesture came about. Just in one of these footnotes, which you couldn't really get in the main text because it'd be a bit distracting. So it's full of these useful tidbits. It's always written in this sort of sarcastic, sardonic way, and whilst they are pertinent to a text, they're not necessary to read. but after reading Infinite Jest, you sort of appreciate footnotes a lot more than endnotes. Otherwise, most of the backstory will probably come in, form of a glossary or have to be sort of weaved into it, and you couldn't sort of get most of it into the main text, I don't think. But so it's a nice bit of exposition. It sort of lends a bit of colour to a world, but you don't have to read them. But there are some useful bits where, if you read them, get to the end of a book and just read a couple of the footnotes that sort of detail the main religion and stuff, you can sort of start putting two and two together and sort of think about what's coming up in the next books. So it rewards readers looking out for stuff. And it does this throughout the book in some of the subplots as well. You're getting these little clues that, you sort of skim by the first time if you're a bit dense like me and it all goes over your head. But when you get to the end, you can sort of add these clues up, and it rewards the readers who are a bit sharper. And this cover's nice as well. You can sort of start picking out, sort of a bit like Where's Wally or Where's Waldo, picking out little storyline objects in the main picture. So the magic system's good. I don't know whether I mentioned this, but it sort of seems to come at a cost. So as this character can sort of weave and create a new face and craft beauty in different characters, but it comes at the expense of her own self becoming disfigured over time. There's lots of stuff like that, and you sort of get into grips that Maya's power, her manipulation of shadows, might come at a price, but you're not quite sure what this price is just yet. It sort of intimates towards the end of the book, but still not there yet. I imagine this is going to be a trilogy, so this is sort of the first book in the series. Another thing it does well is it sort of has these underlying themes of, do you keep your humanity whilst becoming a cold-blooded killer? And Maya constantly has these ethical struggles, and it comes to sort of a head towards the end of the book over whether she can discard her morals just to get revenge. And there's lots of these little hints at the nature of the theme, like the masquerades where the characters are wearing masks, and I have my own here. Long story, it's a good one, whatever. But these characters go into this masquerade. As I say, we're getting these treatments to look more beautiful throughout the book. And sort of, how far do you discard your own humanity and disguise yourself to become a cold-blooded killer, and is it worth it? And this conflict comes to play throughout the book. So, as I say, it's a nice little read, great book. If you're into fantasy, if you're into sort of a darker fantasy, this is probably one for you. So, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.